Thank you, President LeDuc. The Tigers did win that day based on my first pitch. Members of the board, actually Chairman Nolan, deans, faculty, families, friends, and most importantly, graduates. I'm honored and privileged to speak with you today on this important milestone in your lives. You're entering the legal profession in a time of fundamental changes in the practice of law. Due in major part to technology, clients expect better, faster, and cheaper services than ever before, and the practice is becoming global in nature. In fact, many states, including most recently New York, have adopted a uniform bar exam, and I would expect lawyers to be able to practice in every state in our country in the near future. The practice of law has changed significantly from the time that I started practicing 42 years ago. Then, we did not even have personal computers or cell phones or even an internet. Then, tweeting only related to birds. Then, streaming only involved water. Then people were weeding their gardens, but now in many states, people are legally gardening their weed. Then my favorite dance was the boogaloo, which has now been replaced with something called twerking. These last four changes, by the way, I took from a graduation speech from a mediator I know out of California by the name of Lane Phillips, and I want to give him credit for the brilliance of how he did that. Change was not easy for me, and it's usually difficult for most people, and especially difficult for lawyers. But if embraced, change presents new and exciting opportunities for lawyers of all ages. I urge you to embrace change and take advantage of the opportunities it will bring to you. And to help you begin your careers and cope with the changes in our profession, I would like today to give you a few tips on how to succeed in law. There are going to be 10 tips, so if you're getting bored, you'll know when the 10th comes. We'll be close to the end. These tips are the only things that remained consistent in my legal careers, except for change itself. And I believe that these tips will remain consistent and constant in your legal careers. So my first tip is, don't take yourself too seriously, and don't take things personally. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't take your responsibilities seriously. But when you take yourself too seriously, you put yourself above your responsibilities. Maintain your sense of humor. It helps when things are not going as you anticipated, and many times things will not go as you anticipate. In this regard, I'm going to pass along some advice I received a long time ago from a legal professor. And the advice is this: don't sweat the petty things, and don't pet the sweaty things. Now, if you think about it, this advice will help you both in your professional lives and your personal lives. My second tip is prepare, prepare, prepare. Preparation is the key to success in anything that you do, including a successful legal career. You may dream big. You should dream big. But you should work even harder to accomplish your dreams. Nothing substitutes for hard work. Preparation gives you a sense of confidence and enhances your reputation of professionalism among judges, lawyers, and clients. And prepare for even the most mundane tasks. And I urge you, and you heard mentioned the bar exam, I urge you to prepare for the bar exam. It's your next hurdle to becoming a lawyer. My third tip is, even though you have to work hard as a lawyer, Don't ignore what you value the most, including your family, your friends, and your own health. I'm going to tell you, I had 2 sons, and as they were growing up, they were very, very active. They played music and band concerts. They were both athletes. I never missed one of their musical events. I never missed one of their athletic events. In fact, they both played varsity baseball, and it was from 4 to 6 every day. I put it on my calendar with all the other things I had going, trials, depositions, everything. And I would go to the game from 4 to 6. If I had to work, I would work after 6. I actually became the public announcer at the baseball games. It's very important not to get to my age and say, oh, I wish I had spent time with my family. And you should exercise regularly and get enough sleep. It reduces stress. It helps you think more clearly. And you can't do anything well or feel good about anything unless you have your health. And when things aren't going well, it's your family and your friends who provide the support that you need. They help you to put things in the proper perspective. The 4th tip is listen more than you talk. You can't learn anything when you're talking. The only time you can learn something is if you're listening. And if you follow this rule and you talk when you have something to say, then people will listen to you. I want to tell you the story about this junior monk who wanted to become a senior monk. And he asked the senior monk, what do I have to do to get there? And the senior monk said, well, what I'd like you to do for the next 5 years is to only say 2 words every year. Junior monk said, I can do that. First year went by. He lived up to his obligation, went into the senior monk, and the senior monk said, all right, you now can say 2 words. The junior monk said, food bad. Senior monk said, all right, we'll fix that. We'll get you some better food. The next year goes by, again, lived up to his responsibility, goes into the senior monk's office. Senior monk says, you now can say 2 more words. Bed hard. Senior monk said, I'll get you a new mattress. We'll take care of it. 3rd year goes by again, lived up to his obligations, came into the senior monk's office, and the senior monk said, you can say 2 more words. The junior monk said, I quit. And the senior monk said, well, that doesn't surprise me. You've been complaining ever since you got here. So the point here is that you don't have to say a lot to get your message across. The 5th tip is be willing to make mistakes, but admit your mistakes and take immediate action to correct them. Everybody makes mistakes. We're all human. The worst thing you can do is cover up a mistake. The cover-up could destroy your career, not the mistake itself. Once the mistake is out in the open, you can take steps to correct or minimize it, and the people will appreciate the fact that you did not hide the mistake and you stepped up to the task. The 6th tip is to continue to educate yourselves formally and informally. Education does not stop after you graduate from law school. Actually, today is just the beginning of your journey to knowledge and wisdom. Read newly published cases and new legislation. Go to continuing legal education seminars. Watch and learn from good, experienced lawyers. Knowledge of the law and ethics rules are crucial tools for a successful career. The 7th tip is don't be afraid of failure. Failure is a part of life. If you don't try because of a fear of failure, you don't even have a chance at success. Any lawyer who tries enough cases will win and lose his or her share of cases. And if you treat failure as a learning experience and understand that it's part of the process, you'll enjoy the practice of law much more, and you'll be less likely to compromise your integrity to compensate for potential failure. The 8th tip is give back to your profession and to society. As Winston Churchill once said, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Participate and get involved in bar activities, community activities, pro bono work, political activities, or any other type of service activities that interest you. Don't just be a lawyer, be a doer. Do something good for our profession, for clients, for family and friends, and for society. You've been given the tools. It's up to you to use them. Represent those in society who cannot afford a lawyer, and help assure that everyone in our society has access to justice. Service activities are enjoyable, and they're rewarding, and they allow you to make a difference for people and for society. They also enhance your reputation, not only as a lawyer, but also as a person. My 9th tip is be professional, ethical, and civil at all times. Remember, the practice of law is in part a business, but it is first and foremost a profession, and a noble profession at that. It's not just about winning or losing or how smart you are. It's about how you treat others, how you conduct yourself, and how you can make a difference in people's lives and in our society. Your integrity and reputation are your most important assets as a lawyer and as a person. It takes a long time to develop a good reputation. It takes only seconds to destroy it. Keep your word. If you do, people will trust you and believe in you. Our greatest lawyers and advocates are also our most civil lawyers. Use them as role models. Every lawyer admitted to practice in the state of Michigan takes an oath that, 1, he or she will maintain the respect due to courts of justice and judicial officers, which includes opposing counsel. 2, he or she will employ for the purpose of maintaining the causes confided to them such means as are consistent with truth and honor. 3, he or she will abstain from all offensive personality. And 4, he or she will in all other respects conduct himself or herself with the high standards of conduct imposed upon members of the bar as a condition for the privilege to practice law in this state. It is a privilege to be a lawyer. And with that privilege comes the responsibility to act professionally with truth and honor. And to stress the importance of this point, I'd like to quote one of the greatest lawyers ever in America, President Abraham Lincoln. He said, and I quote, "A lawyer who becomes by his admission to the bar of any of our courts part of the judicial establishment of the land should have integrity beyond reproach. I can say for one that I have no other ambition so great as that of being truly esteemed of my fellow lawyers by rendering myself worthy of their esteem. Let me urge you, as I have ever done, to be not only morally honest, but intellectually so. I want to win as badly as any lawyer, but I never let a questionable lawyer control or influence me, and take pains not to do anything mean or which savors of dishonesty or sharp practice, or which requires absolute sophistry or chicanery in order to succeed." That was one of the greatest presidents of the United States and one of the greatest lawyers in our country. My final tip. Thank you. My final tip, build relationships. This is the most important tip that I can give to you. The practice of law, like life itself, is all about relationships. It takes time and effort to build good relationships. Emails have their purpose, but to develop a good relationship, you must have personal contact. Your relationships with your clients, the courts, and other attorneys will determine whether you have a successful and enjoyable practice. And notwithstanding all the skeptics out there who say that there are too many lawyers and not enough jobs, I believe that your future is bright. When I decided to go to law school in 1970, I was also told there are too many lawyers and jobs are scarce. But there are always jobs out there for hardworking and innovative lawyers. Few professions offer such a variety of careers as the legal profession, including private practice, public service, business, banking, corporate counsel, and many other careers. And because the practice of law is in an evolutionary process, new and unexpected legal jobs are popping up every day. Be patient, have faith in yourselves, and embrace the changes that are occurring in our profession. You have received a legal education from a great law school with an excellent, dedicated faculty. Hopefully, you will use your education to make a difference in people's lives and in our society. As I once heard someone say, you should strive to do something great, not to be something great. Congratulations, graduates. I look forward to all of you joining our noble profession. Thank you.